But yeah, very happy with the way this turned out. It's very cool. And like for $2, this ribbon, it makes the whole thing, you know? Hey, how's it going? Anthony Ferraro here, Crate Sci-Fi. Well, today, making a Temu costume. Got a bunch of stuff on Temu. I've done a lot of Amazon, a lot of Goodwill, a lot of dollar store, a lot of like local discount stores, but I've never done Temu. So I have a secondary character, sort of important to move the story along, but it's not like a hero character, so I need a costume. I thought Temu. I just got to bang this costume out. So what am I going to do? Oh, you might have noticed behind me, right? So magicmind, they reached out. We wanted to see if this was a good fit for the channel. Gonna check this out. I'm very excited to try it. I'm gonna be doing it for the first time on camera. And it's a performance shot that'll help you with motivation, mood. So I'm excited about that. So it's not a coffee replacement, it's something instead of coffee, but I'm hoping like in my small window that I can get a boost of creativity and kind of push through to the end. And I'm looking forward to it. So let me just tell you that it's got over 100% of daily vitamin C, D, 12 active ingredients. So apparently you'll get the energy without the crash, right? So again, not coffee replacement, but an addition. And I just drank a big iced coffee, so let's add it. And then they have a commitment to quality, third-party tested, doctor validated. They donate to charities, mental health charities, and 100% carbon neutral. So I'm going to give it a try to see if it's something that we want to give a try. And hopefully it's going to help me get through this push of having to make this costume with like limited time. And of course, there'll be links in the description. They gave a discount code to me to share with you. So if you want to check it out, and then, you know, I'll check in through the video and see how it's going. Now, this is matcha. Just so happens I love matcha. So let's just grab one. Oh, that smells good. Bottoms up. It's very tasty, actually. Just kidding. So yeah, excited about that, and hopefully that'll work out. And I think I can make props out of these bottles. All right, so I went on Temu. Got some pants. What else did we get? I have leftover sneakers from Wakener. Hair. The hair is not for the costume, but it's like a hair bun if we're going to do like a man bun, which I think. So this is the main piece. And the reason I like to go on Temu and buy like European online stuff is they're really good at like sci-fi stuff, right? So the reason I bought this is it has this texture, right? So I'm excited about that. I 3D printed some stuff, of course. So that's the main thing. And then I have somewhere in here, I bought a second color in case that didn't work, but I'm gonna go with the blue. But that now, because it was inexpensive, I'll have it like on my shelf. And where is, and this, I bought like a gold undershirt t-shirt. So who knows? And there's other stuff in there, hair buns. But the main thing is I have the Temu pants. Oh, also too, I wasn't finding Temu with the ridges that I like. So like I said, I talked about this before. I went to a local sort of, you know, one of those, well, I'll just show you B-roll here. You know, these type of shops, like in strip malls, that has this on it. So I have these pants. the ones that I got from Temu, this shirt, and these white sneakers left over from Wakener, because they're these bright white, like sort of sci-fi looking sneakers that I'll never use again. So first thing I got to do to get started, as you know I like to do on this channel, is I like to give everything a dye. So obviously these pants and the shoes aren't going to match this. So first thing we're going to do is put that in to a blue dye, and then we'll go from there. And I notice I'm already buzzing along with my magic mind. All right, let's get into the build.
All right, so here we go. Let's just get the 3D out of the way. Again, this is not a 3D tutorial. I just like to share with you. This will be very quick. So I'm printing up this stuff. I make it in Tinkercad. I have videos of how I make this stuff very simply. This is just gonna add an enhancement to the costume for little money. It's gonna up the production value. You've heard me say that before, but yeah, I mean, that was really straightforward. And again, you can make that stuff out of foam. You can make it out of cardboard, make it out of wood. And then here I'm on Temu shopping for my pieces. I've mentioned this before, this fast fashion, say that 10 times fast fashion, right? All these like Euro, Japanese, cheap clothing, they tend to be inexpensive, but they tend to be kind of sci-fi looking. And then here, like I mentioned, I go to these like strip mall, cheap clothing stores, because I only need this piece of clothing to last one day, right? But it's cheap stuff with the right silhouette, so we got to make it work, right? So what I like to do is, because this is for film, you might not do this for cosplay or Halloween, but because I do this for film, I'm going to give everything the same hue, right? So this blue, it's like an indigo blue, I think. So I'm going to dye everything blue. Now, everything's not just going to be a monochrome blue, but there's going to be like a hint, a shade of the same color that's going to unify everything. And it's important to note that this is synthetic dye, right? Because I'm going to be putting sneakers in there, so synthetic dye will change the color of rubber. I'm going to be doing, again, with this inexpensive clothing, it's very rare that it's cotton, right? It's like rayon or whatever. So I'm doing like a double dye, right? So we did the bleach, clean that off. Now I got the dye. We're going to make a dye bath, putting the shoes in there first. And the main reason I want to dye these shoes is because they're, you know, if they were gray or something, I might live with it. But here I'm taking an opportunity to make the whole costume tie together. You'll see I put a cotton belt in there. I don't think the actor will wear a belt, but I had a white cotton belt from another project, so I just threw it all in there. So here's these dark pants. So even though they're dark gray, when you hit them with light, there will be like a blue hue over them. And the shoes actually came out pretty good. Shirt looks good. The pants, these are the Temu pants. I'm not crazy about those. So now I'm seeing everything and decision, I'm like probably going to go with the other pants, these ones here. Now the other pants, I'll put them in the box, save them for later. Now just a quick run to Joann's. I need some trim. I found this trim, and this is what I was looking for, but then they had one with red, and I was like, oh man, it'd be perfect if it was blue. And on my way out, I walked by, and look at that. It was like put away or whatever, but I didn't just put that there for the sake of filming. It was like, whoa, all right, there's the blue one. So now I'm excited. So here I just got all my stuff, right? And this is a typical thing I do. It's like everything was in my head, but now it's like in the world, and you start to see like, is this going to be what I thought it was? So I got the 3D printing, I got the patches, now the trim from Joann Fabrics. All this stuff is going to come together to make a costume. You could swap out things, but these are sort of my key components now. So here, you know, I'm just making an effort to have everything at equal distance away and to sort of be in a good spot. Again, broken record, you don't have to kill yourself over this step, but I found, you know, it took me a minute to put that tape and to sort of map everything out. Why not, right? So now, again, because like I said, I'm just kind of making this on the fly. I know I'm going to put all these things together, but I don't know how yet. I'm like, oh, that patch, maybe this 3D print. Then I have these 2 3D prints that I was going to put on the collar, but I'm like, nah, maybe there's some kind of badge or button. I was going to put those on the cuff, but then I'm like, no, we'll go back and we'll put the patch, and then I'll put those on the, because those were going to go on the collar, but now that I have the shirt, those triangles, pyramids are too small, or too big rather, but I have the piping, right? All this stuff. If it sounds crazy and hectic, it's because I'm making this up as I go along. So hopefully my sort of chalking it, you know, a million miles at once about 5 different things illustrates that, right? I'm like, okay, these are the pieces that are going to work. I know for sure these are going there. And then I decided that I want to use the triangle patch. That patch could have ended up on the sleeve for all I know. But now that it's here in front of me in the world, you got to be open-minded, right? It's telling me it wants to be this, right? I wanted it to be something else, but when you look at it, it's like, come on, this is what it needs to be. So now that E6000, which is that glue I always use when putting stuff on fabrics, that stuff is amazing. It's magic. It's not going to go anywhere, but it does need a while to cure. So that's why I'm taking the time to sort of lock everything in place with some masking tape, some painter's tape, because I don't want this stuff sliding around as it cures, because it's not like super glue. It's not an instant cure, right? And I'm jamming on the magicmind right now, and I'm just trying to get through this. So there, I moved that to the cuff, sort of like a cuff link. Again, it was my... the way I imagined it was those were going to be on the collar, like epaulets, not epaulets, or, you know, like the pins that they put on the collar to signify rank. The epaulets are like the drapery on the shoulder. But these will be good as like the cufflinks, right? And the 3D prints give a nice dimensionality, add value. And again, that's just the E6000 glue. Now, you'll notice, I didn't call this out, you'll notice I keep putting cardboard underneath everything that I glue. That's because, learn the hard way, right? Ask me how I know, so I want to share this with you. That glue, because it takes a long time to cure, it'll seep through the fabric. And then I've had it before where it seeps through and then it just glues the whole garment together, which you don't want. So I put those pieces of cardboard in there just to keep the glue from seeping through and going to the back. So here, again, these are just little tricks I do. The tape is only on there just so I can maintain some sort of equalness around the whole collar. Again, it's not like a fine measurement where I'm like, okay, here, 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 and pinning it. I'm like, just so it's in the ballpark, it's fine. Like I said, this is a secondary character. This will work fine. And here I'm using the E6000. I'll have to clothespin this all up. And I think it's worth mentioning, too, that, you know, I'm pretty sure, I'm like 90% sure that when I film this short film, this character you're only ever going to see from the waist up. So the pants, the shoes, those are for the actor. I like to make the actor feel like they're part of the world. So yeah, but we're going to go through it all. So here, I just got some weight on there while I'm going to go through and do some details on these pants. And what I'm going to do, again, because this is low budget, and we just sort of, we want to get something for the camera, right? This is not going to be a piece of clothing that somebody's going to wear in the Comic-Con all day, or, you know, LARP with your friends on the weekend. Like, this has just got to be stable for like 6 hours on a set. So paint. So I'm going to use some gold paint just to give this, you know, what do they call this? This is like like motorcycle pants, like this style of like stretchy knee reinforcement. So I'm just going to put a little bit of gold on there, and I'm going to dry brush it. I could spray paint it, but I like the idea that it looks weathered and sort of you don't lose the ridges, the quilting, right? Because I think that's what sells it. Here we have these unfortunate pockets, but luckily my trim, my collar trim, is the same width, right? So this will tie the pants into the shirt, and this will be an easy way to fix these silly pockets. So again, just some super glue, and we're gonna tab this over. All the stuff I'm doing with super glue and E6000 is things that in a proper situation with a budget, with time, with experts, you would be sewing. But again, I only need this to work for a couple hours. And there you see me super gluing it, and that's like silicone from the bottom of a cup from a silicone job because the glue won't stick to that silicone. Now I'm burning up the excess, and there they are. So here, I must have done it off camera. I just cut off the tab of the zipper. And then now, just to be safe, I'm just gonna cover, because it's white, it says sport, and I am gonna cover it up, but let's just, you know, hit this with the black magic marker just to help hide this. And, right, you knew this was coming. Just some E6000. Gonna glue it on there, and I think I have a piece of cardboard in there already. If not, I'm going to put it in there, but for sure there's cardboard under there so that the glue doesn't seep through the fabric and glue the butt to the front. All right, make a sense? Yes. So there, more clamps, all about the clamps. And here I have a leftover 3D print, again, because like I said, I didn't know how it was all going to shake out. So then I had a piece left. So I'm like, let's put it on the pants. Why not? I don't know what else I would use it for. And there's the pants. They're coming together. So now I got to keep things moving. And you see there, right? I got to pull it off the cardboard, but it's not stuck to the pants. And yeah. Again, like I said, the focus is the shirt. Probably never see these pants, but I want to make them for the channel, for myself, and for the actor. I've said this before with lots of my props where even on the inside of helmets or the inside of pants, I always try to make them immersive so the actor feels like they're part of the world. Maybe not necessary, but it's the way I like to do it. So here there's this panel. I'm just putting some blue on there just to give it a little separation since it is called out. I mean, it's camouflage in the original thing, but this, I think by the time I'm done with everything, this ends up going away by the time I wash and weather. But, you know, maybe if I had done that in gold or silver, it would have been better. So these shoes, like I said, I'm really happy with the way these are looking. I like that the sole made this blue color. But what I want to do is just put a darker blue on the body of the shoe. And I'm going to show you a trick that I think I haven't done on this channel yet. Maybe I have. But there's a certain kind of spray paint that you could get that it has a finer mist. And back in the day, we used to have to buy it from a floral shop, right? Because its main use was painting flowers, right? Where, you know, you have some white carnations or white roses and they have to be a certain color for an event. You know, same thing. It's like a prop. So you spray paint the flowers with this sort of finer mist spray paint. So I have some blue left over from some other project. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray paint the body of these shoes with that like navy blue paint. And it's because there's the weave on here, I think it's going to give it a nice effect. So here's that paint. Like I said, it's if you're looking for it, I'll link it below, but it's paint for painting flowers. So usually you can find it like in the floral part of a craft store. And those came out better than expected, actually. Those were big thumbs up. So now I'm going to start to demask and declamp everything. And the Magic Mind, yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm trucking along. I'm getting a lot done. I might have quit by now, but, you know, I kind of had a good idea what I was going to do. Kept the party rolling. So, yeah, so far, so good. All right, so now, D-pin. CP47s. Tell me in the comments if you know what a CP47 is. And then you see there the tabs of blue tape so that I can get that the right width. And yeah, you know, this came out really good, actually. Like, this is one of those things where, you know, I had it in my mind and it all came together. Oh, what's that? There's my book. Buy my book. It explains why I do all this the way I do. It's linked below. So yeah, so demasking, a lot of demasking in this video. Demasking is a great way to spend your time. And dang, these came out good. And it was like that mist coat of paint that didn't totally fill in the texture of the fabric, that it gives us this neat look. And I keep doing beauty shots of these shoes, so I guess I really like them. So now the weathering, right? So I always use black or brown. And here I'm just sort of breaking it down for you. A little bit of gold. Black will be the primary. Then look at that, like, splotch coming out of there, which is all fine because I'm going to be watering this down. So I do tend to use the old paints on this because this is just like a coat that's going to give it a little bit of life. And most of it will get washed off. You hear me say this a lot with the weathering. It's like, even though I apply it everywhere, a lot of it will be coming off. And the thing about where it comes off, there is going to be some kind of residue, and that to me is what sells it, right? And you always want to use more than 3 colors. So here I'm just blopping it on with like an old brush. And then here I'm hitting it with the black. The black I go on the heaviest because I want that to be like, you know, the guy's working on his ship and maybe like a component exploded all over him. Or the green, same thing. And it's not going to be as heavy as this. Like there you see it. Now after this, once it dries, I am going to throw it. I do like the lowest wash setting, like no soap, speed wash, I think it is on my machine. Just to knock loose some stuff and to give it like more of a lived in look, right? Because if this character was real and their shirt was dirty, they would wash it. And then there you see like there's little bits of it left, but not as heavy-handed. So the same thing with the shoes. Now I'm getting out my paints, my brown, and my nicotine. The nicotine is always the winner. And again, you don't have to use these. You could just use water with some acrylic paints. But I have these, so I use them. And all they're going to do is, you know, we just dyed everything and cleaned it up. It's, you know, it looks too new. It looks too nice. So now we're just making it sort of all blend together. Now that is water-based, that nicotine spray, so I don't want that to come off easily, so I hit it with a clear. And then now I like to use those paints for like armpits and necks. And then this is another product from the same company that I get my powders from. And this, it's just, like I said, the actors in this, the idea is that they've been on these ships like at a year at a time, like imagine like a pirate or like, you know, guys at sea back in the day. So the collars, the necks, right, the bottom of the shirt, the bottom of the cuff, all this stuff would be soiled, right? So this just gets me there. And again, the pants, I think the pants is more of an exercise. I don't think we'll see the pants in this particular series of shots that I imagine for this actor, but you know, maybe because this is a secondary costume, I might recycle this costume 3 years from now in another project, right? So here with the air, I use the air to get rid of, like, sometimes you got some water or some of that weathering hanging out, so I just want to get rid of it all. And then a lot of on the line today. That's drying. And then let's just take a closer look. And again, the shoes, really good. The pants, they work. But that shirt, right on. It definitely has like a Star Trek vibe, which I like because my stuff tends to have Star Wars vibe, right? So it's nice to get a little Star Trek action. And yeah, and I'm glad with the arrangement that I did with the badges. That neck, I was walking down the aisle and I found that piping. cufflinks. Boom. Very happy with this. Yes. Good job.
Yeah. I mean, a budget costume. We flew right through that with the help of magicmind. It was good. I mean, it wasn't like an espresso shot or like a Red Bull or something. I would say it was mild, but when I thought about it, I did just kind of cruise right through this with no hiccups and just got it done. And I think I even worked a little bit later than I usually do. So yeah, so, you know, magicmind, I think you should check it out. There'll be a discount code and a link in the description. Give them a try. It's good stuff. Tasty too. So yeah, on a budget. It's a secondary character, but it's a lot of story information comes through this character, so it's an important character. I wanted to do this on a budget. I'm very happy with the way this turned out. Now, the pants are fine. I watch Adam Savage a lot, and I'll notice like he'll build this amazing prop or something, and then he talks about how he's gonna, well, replace that handle and maybe one day get a better what's-it for the thingamajob. And I'm always like, oh, it's not done. But I get it now, because these pants I have now, they're fine. I'm glad I shared with you the process in case you wanted to do something similar. But I think I could do better. So I found a pair of pants that match this detail, and I ordered them. If they come in time, then I'll swap them out for this costume, use them. If they don't, you know, they'll go on the shelf and we'll use them on the next project. But yeah, very happy with the way this turned out. It's very cool. And like for $2, this ribbon, it makes the whole thing, you know? So yeah, look at those 3D printed parts. You know, all that stuff, you can make it out of foam, you can buy patches. There's lots of things you can do, so this is just giving you an idea. But anyway, I hope you found that useful. Check out the Patreon. We got a lot of great supporters over there on Patreon. It really helps. I put a lot of things on there that I don't do on this channel, usually like smaller jobs or things that are sort of in the spurt of the moment, and I'm not going to do a whole video. And I also do pitch decks for scripts that I haven't produced yet. So check that out. Thank you to my Patreon supporters. And remember, I'm just here to help make sci-fi.
Hey, I'm just the avatar, but you might want to check out this video, maybe that video. For sure, subscribe if you haven't, and check out the merch. Buy some merch, that really helps. But hey, what do I know? I'm just the avatar.